She's not too happy about the offer terms that came out. I thought you've already won over the design director title with him.
No.
The issue is 170 is not going to cut it. Oh my God! That means there could be a small chance that we can revive this. Happy Monday, and welcome to yet again another behind the scenes week in the life of what I do every day as a recruiter at my recruiting agency. If you saw the previous video, we spent the whole week traveling to New York City, the city where I lived for almost a decade. I was born in New York, and even though I'm no longer a New Yorker, it's always great to be back and just consume myself with all that energy and hustle vibes that are just surrounding me. Honestly, just motivates me to work harder. But if you're new here, welcome. If you've been watching, thanks for coming in again. Really just want to show what we do behind the scenes as recruiters, and I specifically focus here in the technology industry. Right now, it is the second week of November. In America, we only have about 2 more weeks before Thanksgiving hits. Once Thanksgiving hits, things really start to slow down as we come into the New Year's and the holidays. So I am gonna do whatever I can to push myself the next 2 weeks, hopefully with you all, to hit our goals to end November off strong. If you are as excited to get this video started, but most importantly, if you're excited to make this an amazing week, an amazing month to finish off 2021 because it's been one hell of a year, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. Really gives me an extra injection of energy to get through this week to the best that we can. So far we came in, the schedule looked light, but now the schedule is starting to pack up with candidates and interviews getting scheduled. Have a call with a personal finance client in about a couple hours to further deep dive in the interview process, see where we can kind of make things better for them as they're struggling to kind of attract talent and close and engage them throughout the interview process. And I have like about 11 different candidate calls today with one interview later today. So far, week's going off really well. I'm excited to get started and see what happens this week and all the crazy experiences and obstacles that we would have to tackle together. But happy to be back, even though it is great to travel, even though it is great to be able to recruit from really anywhere in the world or anywhere in the country. There's nothing like home with my setup. I'm feeling good, got a good night's rest, and let's get started.
I like the vibe, I like the passion. Everything looks great, yeah, and I just understand they have pretty flexible style of work. They more of like a startup feeling right now, and I think it's for me it could be a great opportunity to help them out.
If you get a chance to go in their office, they also have a beautiful office space too that I hope you'll be able to see as well. Everything you've done up until this point in your career is exactly aligned with what they're looking for, and the company, they've come to a point organically where they need to find someone like you with a great track record to help them get to that next level, and I'm very happy that you sound very positive too.
Yeah, thank you so much for the connection. We didn't talk yet about compensation level. Do you have any insights?
I mean, you would be flexible a little bit, right, for smaller companies, but ideally you'd be looking for maybe like 180 or something higher, right?
Yeah, I would pretty comfortable with numbers starting from 180.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely something that, they can do. It's certainly on the higher end for them because they are a smaller company, but they will also significantly offer tons of equity as well and tons of room for growth. And if comp does come up, just have a candid discussion with them. You know what I mean? You also like actively interviewing with many other companies too?
Not that much.
Compared to the other companies, it sounds like it's a company you're very excited about. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so had a great process call with a candidate for a creative director with an incredible fast-growing pet startup here in New York City. On the whole, everything looks and sounds great. He is interviewing with a couple other companies, but ranks our company #1 in terms of overall interest. It seems like the other companies he's also interviewing at are very similar to where he's at and where he's been, which is like really big name tech companies. And our company's in the e-com space and they're much smaller. So I think it's just the allure allure of something different, which really captivates him, which is really, really great. He is looking for something a little bit higher on the salary, looking for 180 to 200. I mean, that's totally understandable given his seniority, his experience level, and also the fact that he's coming out of like a tier 1 company. But I think that's definitely something my client can come close with. I know that he will be touching base with the founder of this company, of our client, in about 10 minutes. And that's great because the founder is an amazing closer. He's so good at selling the opportunity and closing the right people and coming out with a competitive offer. He does not lowball. If he likes someone, he will do whatever he can to kind of get it done. So I think overall had a very good process call. We're looking pretty good. I think if this goes well, there is a chance we can have an offer here for a creative director, which would be freaking amazing. As senior as that is, that could be a pretty good commission. So overall, good Monday so far. Had about 11 candidate calls, jumped on the phone with my personal finance client earlier today to really debrief and try to optimize the recruiting process, try to really see what areas we can do better, what areas that we can hone so that we can make sure the candidate has good experience. And then the rest half of today, we'll have more candidate calls, about 6 more left, I think 1 more interview and sending out an invoice. So all around, good Monday. Looking at this week, we're looking good in terms of the interview momentum activity as well as the candidate calls. So feeling good to be back, and let's make it happen.
He called me on Wednesday of last week and gave me an informal offer via email and kind of talked me through some of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's great. I wanted to talk to you about the numbers. The range that I've given you, before really, knowing anything about the position, was 180 to 200. The informal offer is 170. He made a comment that, we could probably come up to 180. We could probably do that. But I said this to you before he sent the offer, that after really digging into the details of what the role would be and the responsibilities, mid to upper of my range was what I was expecting. We've talked through a lot of our finances, like what we would be giving up here. 200 is kind of what we need to really consider moving our entire family across the country.
First and foremost, getting an offer, that's a great start. And even though it may come out a little bit lower than expected, at least it's not that far off. At least it's not like a 140 or 150 offer. You know what I mean?
Right, for sure.
So with that said, I think there is maybe a little wiggle room. I told you even from the get-go, I don't know if they could do 200, frankly. That's really on the high end, and the people that they're hiring, some of them are, as experienced or more experienced than you. And I don't know if they went much higher than 170, 175. I think 180 is definitely possible if you want to ask him. But so long story short, I think there is a wiggle room there that we can kind of play with. But I also just want to remind you that at the end of the day, they are an early stage company, right? So they're not just offering you salary. And so you have to keep that in mind. They're offering you tons of equity on the back end that will have significant upside. And, most companies pre-Series A around where they are won't even be able to go anywhere close to 170. So, just the fact that they're able to even come out with that, I think that's a great beginning. Try not to look at this as or compare apples to apples or compare established companies with these guys, only because they are young, right? If you're looking for 200, sure, go for it. I just don't know if they can hit that, to be honest. I think if there's a way that you can find yourself okay, maybe with 180, I know that's on the bottom end, maybe they can make that happen for you. We'll obviously want to do whatever we can for you. I just want to be able to kind of share with you the best data that we have, especially seeing the other offers that are coming out for other engineers as well. So I know that they're super excited about you, you're excited about them. Or it's not, obviously the delta is significant from 170 to 200, but is there any way that make numbers work anywhere in between, 170 to 200? Or you really can't do anything?
Yeah, we've been talking about this nonstop for the last couple weeks, and especially in the last week. I'm just trying to run numbers on what makes sense, because I have a husband and 2 kids. My husband's walking away from his company where he also has shares that are doing extremely well. $20,000 doesn't even cover daycare for a year for 2 kids. I know that my numbers aren't that far off from what's realistic, and I realize that they're definitely super young. I just don't know if it makes sense for our family.
Okay, so came across some unexpected news that I want to share with you. So we have a candidate for a systems engineer position for our favorite clean energy tech client out of New York. And she's been going through all the rounds. Everything looks great. Coming to this week, I knew that there's a good chance we could be expecting an offer. She's not too happy about the offer terms that came out. As context, she's in Texas. She has a family. She has 2 kids. She has a husband that's also employed. For them to move to New York, her husband would have to literally forego his job and his salary. They would have to find a place to live. They would have to find daycares for the kids. I mean, it's a legitimate, substantial move. They were crunching the numbers for the past week and over the weekend. And even after getting additional information from her research about New York City market, is still within the range that she kind of shared with me when we first spoke, which is 180, 200, which is exactly what we also included in the email when we submitted her to the clean tech company. The issue that I'm still trying to figure out is why the company came out with 170 when I specifically told them that she's looking for at least 180 to 2. So I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, even if an offer came out at 180, it's still gonna be the same situation, but we have a little bit more now to work with. So the issue is 170 is not gonna cut it. She doesn't know if she needs to reach out to the founder or me. I'm glad she did reach out to me, because what I did immediately is send the founder an email saying, hey, we need to chat. So I'm waiting for him to call me. I don't think there's that much wiggle room for us to play with on the candidate's end, considering like the additional expenses, the significant increase in lifestyle living in New York, and of course foregoing an income stream from her husband, who not only has shares but is also due for a promotion. So yeah, this one's gonna be really, really interesting. I thought this was a shoe-in, but it might be a little bit more challenging now, and I think a small part of her is getting, naturally, last minute jitters. I mean, at the end of the day, this is not a local job. It's gonna require her to physically relocate, not just her, but her entire family to New York, which is a big move. And I can feel and empathize for anyone in that situation. My role now is just to make sure we can fight for her and get her the terms closest, if not hit exactly what she's looking for, so that she can make a decision. I think if we were there, if the salary was already aligned, she would have accepted. She's there. She's excited about the opportunity. The company loves her. I don't know why a company still lowballed her. I mean, we already closed a couple people already for this company, and they were able to really be accommodating here. So I'm not sure exactly what happened and why there's a disconnect, but I'm eager to connect real quick with the founder to kind of figure this out and see if we can save this offer. Yes, it's exciting to get offers, but as you know in recruiting, just because you have an offer doesn't mean it's gonna go through, and that doesn't mean you're necessarily gonna get paid. So now I have to do what I have to do to try to find a way to fill in the gap. So I played some hypotheticals with the candidate. She may or may not be flexible. I honestly don't think she's that flexible. And now it's up to me to get that company up, because if they don't, she's gonna walk away, I think. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But let's see what the founder says.
Yes, I saw the email, and it looks confusing. When you reached me out, you said it's a creative director position, but now he's saying it's a senior product designer, which I'm not really interested in, because I'm only looking for a senior position at an executive level.
Did you talk about the title with him before?
The position was head of design, and you reached me out about the position.
I thought you've already won over the design director title with him.
No, because, we were talking only about the company, about like the brand, the vision, and I was sure during our whole conversation we were talking about head of design position, because it sounds like some executive level position. And you said yesterday on the call they are looking for some high level position, and I was sure it's a creative director or head of design, But now he's saying it's just a senior product designer, and it doesn't make sense.
I'm a little bit confused too, but I don't think that's a big deal. I'm going to reach out to him and just try to get a little clarification. But how is everything else? Is everything else fine?
Kind of, yeah. So they said 180, this is the highest level they can offer as a salary, which is okay. They'd like to see me at the office 4 days per week, the most important part is kind of misunderstanding what kind of position are we talking about. Like a head of design and creative director and senior product designer is two completely different positions.
Yes, of course.
And I understand the difference. And I would like to have someone above me, because it means if I take the position and they will hire someone as a head of design, it means for me there is no room to grow at the company. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God! Just spoke with my candidate who is expecting an offer for what we thought would be a creative director, design director position, and then he heard from the founder that they're offering him a title of senior product designer, and he's already a lead. And he's super disappointed because he doesn't want to go backwards in his career. And I'm also really surprised by that too, because we were operating that this would be at least a creative director, design director. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Like he's already a lead. So this in and of itself doesn't really make sense on just a surface level point of view. I know he's coming out of a top tier company, and I know that our client really likes him a lot, but they have to fix this because optically this just does not look good. And he just feels like that we and them are wasting his time. And so what I need to do now is just talk to the founder to see what we can do here, and just hopefully we can clarify the situation. Oh my God. But after getting off the phone, he's a little bit confused. I'm also a little bit confused too, because when I picked these roles up from Katie, it was our understanding that these would be kind of a high level leadership role. And that's really only how we're getting high caliber talent. He's already a lead, so I don't know if that was a misconnect, but you know.
I think that was a misunderstanding. We only have two positions on the design side, right? There's a head of design that I'm hiring through an executive agency. It's going to be someone from the caliber of like the Bruce Bell of the world, like the guys who already built a team in like big name startups. And we had that conversation, so that's why I'm surprised. I think he thought there was another level maybe below that, but there is none.
The 180 is fine for him. The 4 days is fine for him.
If it's just a title thing, so yeah, we can solve that. I think I cannot solve that now because I cannot make him like a lead versus the others here, in the sense that like he's gonna do the same work than everybody else is doing on the team. You know what I mean? I cannot just fake putting in on top of them. Also, he's not going to manage anyone. So what he can do though is like he can come on board as senior, because like the only role of the title is as an evolution for his career, right? But here today, like no, we're like the only person I'm hiring in like a lead role is like a head of design, and that's definitely not the level where he's at.
So like, is head of design and creative director the same position, or would you be able to like?
We literally never wrote creative director anywhere.
So I want to find a way to salvage this, because I know that title is kind of important for him. I can definitely push him to have a chat with you, but from my understanding, you're saying that obviously because the design team is very small, it's a flat organization, everyone's going to be called a senior.
Let me talk to him. I can explain him the situation. And I think like the only role of the title is really for his next job. It's not for this job. So he can change that later on to whatever he wants.
If you can maybe, address that as well, and maybe like paint a great picture that he can have a great career and he can grow into leadership, I think that'll be really great. I'm surprised that this happened because, this doesn't really happen that often. And I have a really strong history with these guys. It just makes us look really bad with the candidate because we reached out to him for a director role and he's like, they're gonna consider me for a senior role. So now it's all about like, how do we close? How do we modify the narrative that, hey, it's a flat organization, so title doesn't mean anything, but you can grow into what you want to become on the team. And I spoke with the founder. He's very understanding. He's willing to reach out to our candidate and kind of explain the same situation. Our client founder is also a really strong closer, so hopefully he can kind of get the job done. But I was expecting this to be a smooth close here. It just still doesn't really feel good because I feel bad because the candidate just feels like we're misleading him, which is not the case. And this is why recruiters ultimately get a bad rep. But I did not do this intentionally, and we will do whatever we can to rectify this situation. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is going to work out actually, because the candidate really sound like a real big stickler for the title. So we'll see what happens. So we heard back from our candidate who was going through a mix-up with our e-commerce client in New York City. And he just sent an email to our founder saying that he's disappointed about the mix-up and he wants to withdraw from the process, which sucks because I thought that this was going to happen, and I thought this was going to be an offer that we could bank on for this month. Upon getting that email, the founder responded back saying that he's disappointed to hear that, wish him best. But the crazy thing is, knowing the founder, he's not one to give up, especially because he loves my candidate and he knows that there was a little miscommunication and maybe the candidate is just reacting to the disappointment instead of thinking things through. Even though that it's not a director position per se off the bat, because the design team's so flat, the founder wanted to give him a senior product designer title, which was disappointing because my candidate's a lead right now. He wants to be a director or manager if he wants to move forward, and just optically and at a very surface level, it sounds like he's taking a step back. But when I spoke with my client earlier today, he mentioned that my candidate can join him as a senior, but then he has tons of room for growth and he can grow into a lead, he can grow into a manager, he can possibly grow into a director and beyond. I think where the mix-up was that our client is indeed hiring for a VP head of design, but they're actually using a retaining search firm just for executive hires. So we don't really, unfortunately, we can't work that. And even if we were able to work that, for that position, he's looking for someone a lot more senior than my candidate, who is experienced but doesn't have that level of experience that the founder would be looking for. So there's a mix up there. I think the candidate's still happy enough with the salary, still happy enough with the going into the office 4 days instead of the ideal 3. But I think it's like the scope and the title that really disappointed him. The founder is now trying to re-engage the candidate. He shot him an email saying, hey, we were already set on you coming to the office on Thursday anyway to meet me and to meet a couple members of the team. So it doesn't hurt, just keep options open. And if you want to walk away, you can walk away. But I know that this is his last hurrah, last effort to re-engage the candidate, because I know they have an amazing space with dogs and they have an incredible team. So seeing that, I also followed up with my candidate to see if he's just open to kind of going to the office. The way I laid it up is, hey, you can walk away, but I know you really like this company. I know you really like the team and the founder. It'd be not ideal to walk away from this in a very negative or awkward light. Maintain a positive relationship. Even if you don't want to join the team, that's cool. At least you can go on site, you can meet the founder in person. Who knows? Maybe they'll be hiring for a position that's more aligned for you in the future. Maybe he can refer you. There's no point in burning bridges. That only can hurt you. So at this point, I'm doing my best to paint the picture for my candidate, to really support the founder, just to kind of get my candidate on site to Thursday, because I know if he can make it to Thursday, he'll be a lot more open-minded about the opportunity. But it's not so much me pushing my candidate to something he doesn't want. It's a misunderstanding. He's coming from a large company. He wants a director position or a lead position at least. But he has to understand that our client is super small. Their design team only has 2 to 3 people and everyone's called a senior designer. Not to mention that he's a lead and he doesn't really have management experience. So it doesn't make sense to call him a director at my client. So that totally makes sense. But my candidate has to figure out if he's willing to be a senior designer in the beginning and an incredible team that he can help grow and then he can also grow, or does he really just want to scratch all that and find another job where he could be a director or something from the get-go, which is, I know, what he was preferring a little bit more from our first call. But I think our client is convincing. This job is really cool. So hopefully we can try to re-engage, but this has just been a disaster. It's been a crazy, frustrating day just trying to manage this, but we'll see what we can do here. And my founder, my client, is not going to give up until it's actually over, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really like them. I love their space.
Are you also interviewing or late stages with any other companies as well, aside from them?
Not late stages, but I am interviewing for other positions, yeah.
You said that ideally you'd be looking for 150 or higher, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just keep in mind that they also do offer equity and bonus and accelerated growth, so I think we should be aligned there. But I wasn't able to fully debrief with them, but I was able to hear that they were very positive about you, so I know that they have a couple things that they're just ironing out. Things are super busy there, but I think they should probably get back to you soon. Okay, so had a great chat with a candidate for my program director. She's slowly moving forward. It took a little bit longer than expected because the company had tons of projects, initiatives they had to focus on, so interviewing and hiring slowed down a little bit, which kind of caused my candidate to be stuck in limbo, but we were able to successfully re-engage her. She's really excited. Last she heard from our client is that they're thinking about moving forward references, which is great. So hoping if that goes well, we can get her across the finish line, get the references done, and get her an offer, and then start the closing process. So just good news right now. I could definitely use some good news with everything else going on, but yeah, fingers crossed. Let's see how we can finish the day. Here's the thing, like she's super excited first and foremost. The only kind of small issue that she brought up was revolving around salary. I think I included in the email, she was at least looking for kind of 180 to even the 200 range. I know that you came out with 170, which really caught her by surprise. This is basically her situation. Like she wants to find a way to make it happen, but for her to move, she has 2 kids, and then her husband would have to forego his promotion, his income, and his shares. So just to make sure like a family of 4 can comfortably move, yeah, she wanted me to ask if like there's anything you could do. I know that 200 is definitely a higher number, but you know, she told me straight up, she's like, if we can do anything close to that, like she can shut everything down and make a decision and accept.
So still, I mean, as for Sarah's case, there was a half and half. Half people really liked her, but then the other half was kind of, I was not sure. I went ahead and made an offer. So if we have to increase the salary further, especially up to like 200K, that no one is really receiving in this company. I personally don't know if her background, especially even considering the city and also all the salaries range is going very high right now. I'm not really sure about that. Yeah, we are offering her the stock option as well now.
I know.
Also, we are offering one of she's not just joining as one of the engineers, and she's going to be leading the team. But for the salary wise, I also have to think about the other people. And 200 is really the maximum of the company. And if you look at the other people being compensated like 200K in this company, they have like 20 years of experience is leading the like 100 people team in General Electric, for example. 170 is just too much of a move. I mean, honestly, like she told me, like if she didn't have kids or if she didn't have a husband, it'd be no problem. But like daycare in New York City is also extremely expensive. I have kids here. I have family here. I know things here.
Like, would you be able to do maybe like 190?
I have to think about that, but the 190 is still I mean, I was actually thinking about 175 as a maximum.
Oh. 170, 175, she just might walk away. So like, I just want to find a situation where at least we can kind of have a shot of closing her. And if
she might walk away, that's the risk we are taking though. That's why the situation is a little bit different for her. But I mean, on top of my head, 175 is really the maximum.
Okay, so like even like 180 is not going to be like feasible for you at all?
Yeah, I don't really want to slowly get increase that
or just 180 max. Like if you can do that, maybe I can try my best to see if we can get this done for you. But that's still going to be tough. But at least that kind of gets you into like the fighting area, because that was the initial range that she shared with me when I first spoke with her, and I sent that to you.
Okay.
So like 180 is like even her lowest bottom.
If that becomes a problem, I don't think I can go higher than that. Yeah.
Is a sign-on bonus or something like that like a possibility, or like a little bit more equity? Anything else that maybe we can do? I get it.
What about coming to the point? I mean, what about coming to the number like 170K salary and 10K sign-up bonus, which is effectively 180K for the 1 year, and then we really want to see how she's performing in the company.
All right, one more update. So we had a product analyst that went through references, that got an offer. I spoke with her last week when I was in New York, and she was like, hey, I'm excited about the offer. Can they do anything about 100, or can they up the equity? I then spoke with the client to see if we could negotiate, and they told me that they're firm. They can't really move on anything. So that's not ideal, but I thought the delta was so close, 195, and equity, and the fact that my candidate can break into tech, break into product management, which is ultimately what she wants. The issue is that today is Tuesday, almost at 5:30 p.m. She was supposed to sync up with the head of product yesterday. He reached out to her. She hasn't responded back. I texted her. She hasn't responded back. I also emailed her today. She hasn't responded back. So I don't know what's going on. Everything sounded good up until this point. I hope she's okay. I hope she's not playing any games. It's rare that we come into situations where candidates would ghost at the last end. That really just will leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth. So I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope, maybe she's, I don't know. I hope maybe she's busy or she's traveling or something, because this is a deal that I thought also that we had in the bag. And if we lose this, that would be just a jab, knockout for me today, which is not ideal. Hoping to see what we can do. I'm gonna try to follow up with her either tomorrow or maybe Wednesday, let some time go by, but I hope we can re-engage and see what we can do here, fingers crossed. But I was able to chat with him today and really kind of convey your situation, and he really wanted me to reiterate to you that, he and the team are really, really excited and we'd love to kind of find a way to make this happen. But, we went back and forth. So it seems like the best that they can do is stick with the $170,000 salary, but offer you a $10,000 sign-on bonus. So all in for the first year, you're looking at 180 cash. Your starting salary is like very temporary. I mean, you're coming in a pre-Series A, which is literally the best time to come to maximize upside with equity. And again, a lot of seed level companies won't even be able to come as high as like 170, let alone 180. So I hope I hope you understand that. He really wanted me to kind of reiterate that and clarify that for you. But, you have an opportunity to have tons of impact, lead teams. As the company grows, like your salary and cash will be reevaluated often, So it's really just a stepping stone.
Okay. Cool. Well, I will chat with my husband tonight about it.
Okay. How do you feel off the bat?
I don't know, to be honest. My husband, in the last week, has started realizing he doesn't want to quit his job.
Okay.
Even though in the beginning he was very excited, he's leaning more and more towards he's not ready to leave. Right opportunity, wrong timing. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God. I don't think this is gonna work. She really wanted 200 and all we can do is 180. Oh my God, this is like possibly losing 3 deals in one day. Oh, it never gets easier. It never gets easier. This seems like there's just so much going on, so even if we're able to kind of come up a little bit higher, I don't think it would make a difference, to be honest. This, in conjunction with the other 2 deals I might lose, that's like just a huge blow for my day and for my week. But just gotta shake it off. I mean, the only way I can say this is just connect her to the founder to see if he can do anything there. I doubt he'll be able to do anything because he told me that he was pretty firm. So if anything, it's just them reconnecting one last time to close the loop. But oh my God, this is why it's so difficult to find people to relocate, because there's so many things that go into it. If this position was remote, we would have closed. This would have been done. But anyway, just gotta brush it off. I have a lot more people to source, got too many things to do this week. Everything's had some good interviews with the partnership and creative directors, had a ton of candidate calls, and we'll just have to reset, recharge, and just get back at it and just try to find a way to finish this week off strong. But mentally, it's been a beating. After a long, hard day, there's no better way to relax with some good old food. Look at this, oven-baked salmon with our teriyaki marinade on top of some good old greens. Looks amazing.
Yeah, so we already scheduled the meeting next Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, yesterday it was so confusing.
I'm so sorry.
What's going on?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, because I already took the offer, and right after I realized we were talking about 2 different positions at the same time. So
just got off the phone with my candidate who withdrew from our e-commerce client yesterday. I'm still really sad about that. But a couple interesting things though. He actually, the whole day he avoided me, he avoided the clients, rightfully so. I think he was pretty pissed. But I think after he calmed down and started processing everything, he actually reached out back to the founder and told him that he's open to going into the office next week, which is amazing. But that means there could be a small chance that we can revive this, because I know once he gets in there, he sees the dogs, he sees the space, he meets the founder, he sees the team in person. That could literally change things up a little bit. So I'm pumped about that. But because I know that our e-commerce client is no longer kind of guaranteed for my candidate, even though he got an offer and he rejected it, there's still a small chance there. I was able to immediately repitch him another role that could also been a great fit. So this other role is actually a creative director role, which is definitely something he wants as a title. He expressed interest. Now we're immediately subbing him, which is great. So this is why if you're recruiting, you work for yourself, you want to really focus on one, if not two markets max, because if you focus on one market, all of your open positions are fairly similar. So if you have a candidate that's good for one, most likely they could be good for another. I knew talking to him, he could be good for both, but there's no point pitching him this other one because I knew that he got an offer here. But because that offer fell through and there's a small chance of that engaging, we pitched him the other role to re-engage him with another company. So ultimately that helps us to make sure that we can kind of keep sending good people to our clients. That also helps the candidate and making sure that they're getting a great experience working with us. If you have so many positions, but they're all different, you're gonna have to do extra work filling each and every one of those different positions. And every candidate that comes in, you're not gonna be able to re-pitch them any other roles because they're all different. So you're getting less mileage from a really good candidate. So by being able to be focused and having multiple job opportunities that are open and they're all similar, you can have a lot more mileage with the same candidate, overall providing a better experience to our client who's getting a more pipeline and better experience to our candidate who's getting more job opportunities. So just trying to do my best and get this filled. All right, so, even despite that good news, I kind of went to bed last night and woke up today a little bummed out from yesterday. Like Tuesday was rough. So many punches in a row. Possibly thought I was gonna lose 3 deals. This designer deal was kind of a disaster. He rejected the offer, but there's a small chance, and again, a small chance that we can re-engage for next week when he goes into the office. But you gotta roll with the punches, and like not everything is high, and that's the whole reason why I wanted to share and make these videos, so you can kind of see just real transparently the ups and downs of running this business. We also found out yesterday that one of our clients that we've been working with for years, they decided that they're actually gonna switch directions and work with other agencies because recommendations from the board, which sucks. We've been working with them for many years, filled multiple positions, and so like by not being able to help them moving forward, and on top of all these other like rejections with offers, like it was just a ridiculous, painful day. Despite everything, you still have to just wake up and get at it, get back to your office, get back to the computer, and get back to work, because that's why you're getting paid, to deliver results for our clients. You're not gonna get compensated for feeling sorry for yourself or whining or complaining. You just have to shake it off. And no matter how tough it is, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Like take a cold shower in the morning, go to the gym, take a nice walk, do meditation, do Pilates, do yoga, whatever you have to do to reset your mind and just start anew and get back at it. As painful and as much as I didn't want to get out of bed this morning, I was able to just compartmentalize, stop it in my brain, put it aside, and do what I do best, and just find a way to keep providing value, continue providing value for all my clients. So with that said, I feel a little bit better. I feel actually much better because something crazy happened. So one of the reasons why I was bummed up yesterday is we had an offer go out to our product analyst, and ever since like the references moving forward, it's just been really difficult to get in touch with her for myself and for our client, and I have no idea why. And it's gotten to a point where they went through references, they extended her an offer, she wanted to negotiate possibly, they had a product reach out to her, she never responded, and enough time has gone by where it was starting to raise little red flags or concerns. And as I told you, when you get an offer, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it will happen. There's so many things that can happen from getting an offer to then actually starting. Even before the offer, the references, anything can happen, which we witnessed this experience. So I was just hoping she was okay. I don't know why she was ghosting or avoiding. I texted her early this morning. But the great news is from this little episode is that we were able to finally hear back from her. She called me just a couple hours ago and told me that everything is great. She apologizes, thank God, and that she was able to return the offer signed to my client, baby. And she reached out to her head of product, and she's gonna schedule another call. So, oh my God, out of 3 I was gonna lose, at least we're able to close 1 freaking deal. And this was painful because this is with our finance client who is firm and remains to be firm in terms of the offer. They don't want to go up on the salary, they don't want to go up on the equity, and so finding the right person would be tough. We already lost 1, and I'm like, we can't lose another one. And from the way that I was looking yesterday, I'm like, we're gonna lose this one. But somehow everything was okay. Our candidate's okay. She was just super busy. She filled out her offer. She agreed on a start date. She's gonna hop on a call, had a product, and bada bing, bada boom, that's another deal done. Thank God. So If I went on this week and didn't have a single deal, I'd be really, really sad. But I just feel happy that she was able to sign. So all we need to know moving forward now is making sure that she shuts down her interview processes, officially gives notice, and she just starts on time. That's how we get paid. So a little bit of good news. Still took a beating yesterday and doing whatever I can to finish strong. It's already Wednesday. There's only 2 weeks left until Thanksgiving. So really just pushing myself the hardest I can so I can kind of look forward to a nice vacation in a couple weeks. So come on, let's keep going. Just finished shooting a YouTube video. I think it's about 7 p.m. Really spent most of my day sourcing for our favorite ad tech client who really wants to hire 2 to 3 roles this month. I know that they're using other recruiters, but that gives me the extra incentive, the extra inspiration and energy to do what I can to at least close as many positions as we can. So we're going for associate account director, business development manager. We're also doing an associate, possibly director of search as well. So if you know anyone who might be interested in the New York City area, this is a hybrid in office, please reach out. I will also make sure to include this in our job board so you can click on the description box below and reach out in real time, or have anyone else reach out in real time and apply for those, and we will get back to them. Aside from that, ending the day with another win. I was pretty sad coming into today thinking that we lost 3 deals. Happy that we're ending today with 1 successful offer. Even though it's probably the smallest of the 3, it still feels great we're able to get 1 in the bag. 1 is still possibly live because they're gonna go back to the office next week, so we'll see what happens. But right now I am pushing myself. I am doing whatever I can to source as much as I can to try to crank out as many deals as we possibly can before the holidays. So that means late nights every single night, 5 days in a row, just really pushing to 7, 8, 9 p.m. and just cranking it, making sure that we do not lose momentum. Right now is when the rest of the world starts to slow down and just take off the pedal. But for me, you know me if you've been watching for a while, I love to end the weeks off strong on Friday. And honestly, how you end the year is exactly how you end the week. It's really the same thing. As most people slow down, we maintain our speed. We go even faster so that we can reach out to more clients and more candidates as we get into the holidays, so that we can make sure come New Year's, we come into 2022 with crazy momentum. That really is a small but not crazy differentiator that we do for many other companies. It's not a game changer. It's nothing new. It's nothing innovative. It's just the fact that we're working hard. An extra hour or 2 per day, an extra couple hours per week, compounded every single week throughout the year, will lead to a significant amount of time that you have over competitors, over others that are in the same field. Just this alone will help you get that extra inch of edge to make sure you can give value and continue to give value for your candidates and clients. I really also want to hit engineering again before I go to bed. And then coming into Thursday and Friday, we are now picking up a director of product position as well as a product design manager position with one of our favorite health tech companies that I'm gonna focus Thursday and Friday on. I have about 12, 13 calls scheduled right now, a couple interviews tomorrow. So it's gonna be a jam-packed day. But yeah, hump day, Wednesday over, second half of the week. I'm ready for it, targeted, laser focused, let's do it. All right, it is almost 10 p.m. here on a Wednesday and just finally wrapping up. And tonight is a long one, and that was an understatement. Just finished sourcing another huge push for engineers, just edited another YouTube video, thinking about shooting a TikTok video, but might push that to tomorrow. But yeah, the hustle is real. Really making an effort to push every single day. We literally have 2 weeks between now and Thanksgiving here in America. Once that hits, things will slow down until the New Year's, and I want to do whatever I can to finish this year strong. I worked my butt off this entire year, so it makes no sense for me to start slacking off right now. We have 2 more weeks, and then once that's done, then we can slowly start to push things back. But oh my God, what a freaking week. What a day. Got still 2 more jam-packed days. I'm giving myself a full Friday, not gonna call it a half day. We're gonna make this happen. And yeah, just happy that I survived. My neck is hurting, my back is hurting. had a good dinner. That really helps me do the final push. But if you've seen my previous videos, you would know that if you need to catch up on work, you need to get ahead, you need to have time to carve out for side projects or hustles. Don't forget, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the sweetest window throughout the week for you to make that happen. After dinner, before you go to bed, things are calm, things are peaceful, no one's blowing up your phone and with emails and calls. It's a really great chance for you to have one final wind of energy and focus before you call it a day. But I'm feeling it right now, but gonna go to bed now, rest up, and get back at it tomorrow morning. See you then. It's coming up to the end of the workday here on Thursday afternoon, and what a day. Had so many candidate calls. Can't even remember how many exactly. Had about 4 interviews. Every single one of them are going as planned. And I am looking forward to my favorite day, Friday, jam-packing it with a good number of interviews, candidate calls, and connecting with the potentially new client that I think we're gonna be working and picking up some new creative roles, which should be really, really exciting. Before finishing this video, I just wanna come on here and just share a couple thoughts I had in helping me stay focused and productive every single week. If you're working for yourself, you're in a sales job, you're a solo recruiter, or you're running your own agency, it's really important to differentiate your activities between ones that are unnecessary, irrelevant, to ones that are more high priority or income generating. You wanna make sure that during the business day, you allocate most of your time to income generating activities, activities that are actively pushing your business, whether it's reaching out to clients, reaching out to candidates, negotiating, doing process calls, whatever that you can do to help close deals, to open up new relationships, to further cement offers that are pending. That's what you want to focus on. Anything else aside from that, anything periphery, secondary, for example, bills, errands, working your website, why would you allocate important and precious time, limited time during your day to do that? Being an entrepreneur, running a small business, or even a good recruiter where we have to manage tons of different tasks and projects and processes at the same time, you wanna make sure you're focused as much as possible and really allocate anything that's secondary of importance to early in the day, later in the evening, or sometime on the weekends. And if you see my previous video, also make sure that out of the active working time that you're devoting to your main recruiting work day to day, that you also prioritize your day in terms of the level of importance. High priority items like closing deals, negotiations, client calls, candidate process calls should be allocated more towards the morning as best as possible. That's when you're most awake. That's when you have the greatest energy and your mental acuity and alertness is at its high. Things like candidate sourcing. I love to block off at least 3-4 hours every day in the afternoon. It's monotonous, you're on autopilot, and just the mid to late afternoon is a great time when things start to slow down, where you can really focus on that. When it comes to reaching out to clients, I love to also do that first thing in the morning. Clients, hiring managers, founders at companies, typically around 9, 10, 11, are a great time to reach out to, cold calling, cold emailing as you're getting settled for the workday. Considering the fact that it's also in the morning, they're fairly positive as well. They're not impacted or affected negatively or emotionally of all the things that they're gonna have to tackle that day. A lot of times you reach out to people in the afternoon, something either bad happened with a client, something bad happened with their team members or company, and they're frustrated, angry, and the last thing you wanna do is think about talking to a potentially new client or vendor like us. So allocate your high priority items in the beginning, but most importantly, really be crystal clear on whatever you do that day of the week. What activities are high priority? What activities are income generating? What activities are pushing your business forward? And what can actually wait for the evening or the weekend? That really helped me to prioritize and just really keep the structure of my day very simple. And then make sure when it comes to just having a block of uninterrupted time for sourcing, I like to do 2, 3, 4, 5+ hours in the mid-late afternoon. Sometimes I break it up from maybe 2 to 3 all the way to 5 or 6, and then maybe I would have dinner and then have another 2 to 3 hour block of sourcing as well if I'm really handling a lot of high volume roles that needs my attention. So be focused, stay organized, and just keep things simple as much as possible. And then if you just focus on the activities that really need your attention earlier in the day, but also throughout the day, just focus on those activities that are actively driving your business forward and really pushing that needle. I think that would really help a lot. But aside from that, gonna be shooting a TikTok video, gonna be doing a little more sourcing, answering emails, and then getting ready for a great Friday. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week yet again, and just gotta be honest with you, I am feeling it. As you saw earlier in the video, we have 2 weeks left till Thanksgiving. Now almost a week and a half, almost a week left till Thanksgiving. So I'm really doing whatever I can to push myself every single day. And I would say almost every single day this week were late nights, averaging till 8, 9, 10 p.m. and it's just been insane. And I'm exhausted. I'm mentally and physically exhausted. My neck and back cramping, and just looking forward to finishing up several more hours and then calling it a day, calling it a week, and looking forward to a nice relaxing weekend. Also had a lot of trouble sleeping. I think the stress is definitely not helping, but having literally a jam-packed Friday, it's almost 3 p.m. I'm about to hop on a call with a client, picking up another creative role in about 4 minutes. But up until now, I've really just been heads down, really sourcing for the product design manager and a director of product for health tech client. Had almost about 13 different candidate calls, 3 interviews, have 3 more interviews, actually 3 interviews, 4 interviews happened, have another 5 interviews to go. So it's a really active Friday, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, I think all the work and stress compounded it is definitely resulting in some heavy duty just fatigue right now. But I'm gonna do what I can to push strong and make the last 10 yards here count and just keep moving inch by inch. So if you guys also have experience with fatigue or stress or anxiety, what do you usually do to help you make yourself feel better, whether it's taking a break, going for a walk, meditate, Pilates? What do you do also? Do you have any tricks for like getting extra energy? To me, it's a lot about matcha. If I'm really tired, I would have matcha, maybe a little coffee in the afternoon. But I think it's just a combination of just being a ridiculous week, and it's Friday, and I'm just ready to kind of take it easy for the weekend. So either way, still everything's going really well. Talked to really amazing candidates. 95% of them we submitted immediately because they're amazing. Got a good number of interviews that are happening today. Got 2 more candidate calls. So yeah, 1 more client call. We'll see what happens, but it's been a good week so far. It took a lot of punches and blows on Tuesday, and just still adamant and focused to finish off the week strong. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, just got off the phone with a client. So another kind of e-commerce acquisition client, he introduced me to his head of brand. I hopped on the phone with him. He's from Colorado, super jealous, love Colorado. We actually almost moved there, and picked up potentially like 1 to 4 marketing analyst roles. And it seems like they're pretty flex on background. If they're from Colorado, that's a plus. Really the main prerequisite is they just have to be an Excel rock star, and they're willing to pay up to $85, $95. So hopefully should be pretty straightforward. Gonna be doing a search first thing on Monday, but still got 2 more calls today, and then almost done for the week. One of the highlights also of today, especially, is that if you remember in my previous videos, I actually reconnected with a good friend of mine who's starting his own startup right now in this crazy market right before the holidays. And he's a team of 1, and he's looking for his first hire, and he's been having a tough time, rightfully so. I mean, big companies even today are having a tough time. So even though we don't normally work with companies this small, I decided to kind of give him a shot. Like I've been working with him for many years, and he was able to hire a lot of people through us. So it's the least I could do. We went almost a week and a half reaching out to people, and the responses were as expected. People did not want to join a super small outfit like his, being the second hire. They want to join a more established company. People are just more risk averse because of COVID. And so we synced up actually yesterday, and I told them, hey, like I think we need to shift gears. This specific profile is just not working out. We need to target a bigger target pool. And so we went from just targeting sales recruiters to biz devs and now sales ops. And because of that, we hit it hard yesterday, which is one of the reasons why I worked super late. And I was able to actually submit 4 people to him today. And that literally made his Friday because he's struggling to hire. Now he's going to next week with 4 interviews. So this is how like we deliver results time and time again for the clients and companies that we work with that entrust us to be their recruiting partner. We help strategize. If something's not working, we recalibrate until something works. works, and then we continue to deliver results. So I went from, getting worried that we might not be able to help them to now feeling pretty good about the pipeline. If we can have a couple more people next week, I think the pipeline looks solid and he should be able to make it happen, considering only if he can sell the opportunity really well and then just be competitive with this offer. So that is literally the other half of the puzzle, and I think that he can kind of stretch to make it happen. But I am happy to help him out, and hopefully we can help him make this first hire. He has a good experience with us. That would just ensure us helping him scale out his team even further. So great news all around. Hello again, and this wraps up yet again another week of what I do behind the scenes. And oh my gosh, man, oh man, am I tired. This week was also pretty rough. As you saw, I had a pretty rough Tuesday. One of a good clients that we've been working with for many years decided that they'll be using other resources per the recommendation of the board members, which was painful. We were in a situation where we could have closed 3 on Tuesday, which was an amazing situation to be in, but as you saw, one of them fell through. One, there's like a 1% chance it's still alive because the candidate's going into my client's office next week, fingers crossed. But we were able to make the third one and convert that into a freaking deal. So nevertheless, no matter how painful it is, psychologically or physically, we're still able to make an offer and deal happen. Our final salary here was $95,000 with a 20% commission, which means we're taking home $19,000, which is not a bad place to be in for the second week of November, especially when things are starting to slow down because of Thanksgiving right around the corner and the holidays that are coming around the corner after that. But it could have been a lot more. But luck wasn't on our side, and that's what recruiting is. You never just know what's going to happen, and you have to take the punches, and you have to still do your best. We were also able to pick up a director of product as well as lead product design manager positions on Wednesday, and really spending all day today sourcing my butt off for that product design manager position. So I have to think about it next week, and then I can just focus on Monday, Tuesday on the product roles. And then I have to also shift gears and then start hitting the marketing analyst roles, which we just picked up today. And then we could have another 3 to 5 deals. At this point, time is against the clock. Thanksgiving in America is literally less than 2 weeks now. So things are slowing down. It already feels like things are slowing down. So this is the time more than ever where you need to just push hard. Everywhere around you, all the signals and all your colleagues are starting to slow down, get into the holiday mode. It's right now the best time where you can differentiate yourself from others, still stay in your lane, stay focused, heads down, and try to crank out an extra deal. If you're in sales or recruiting, don't reach out to 20 candidates, reach out to 30 candidates. If you're reaching out to companies, don't reach out to 30 companies, reach out to 50 companies. You can always do more with the same amount of time. And I know it's been a heck of a year for all of us. It's been a really crazy ride for me as well. I'm adamant to keep finishing this year strong. Doesn't make any sense for me whatsoever to slack off and slow down right now. We still have a little bit more time left till 2022, so let's make that final push together. If you're as excited and adamant of ending the year off strong, just let me know. Comment down below. We're all in this together. If you've been watching for a while, thanks again. If you're new, I really want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget that if you're curious, you can go to the description box below and check out the open positions that we're recruiting for live. We're also always looking for great talent acquisition recruiters who want to partner, who want to join us part-time or full-time. If you're a master in your niche, you have a great track record, great experience handling volume roles and being able to bill at a high level, we would love to chat with you. There's so many ways we can work together, and I believe that recruiting is one of the best professions you can have right now. So many recruiters are too focused on competition. More of us should focus on collaboration, and if we can do that, we can provide more value to our candidates, more value to our clients, more value to everyone. It's just a win-win-win-win situation. But I still have 2 more interviews to finish off later today. Gonna have still a bunch more sourcing to do, and then just going to scramble for next week, really hitting those marketing analyst, product design positions, and everything else that we have going on. I will also do my best to update our job boards with all the new positions and add that there, but we are doing our best. We are working at capacity to try to do as many deals as we can before the year's end. So I am done. Oh man, it is November, we still have a full week of November, and I just have to rest up properly to make sure I can attack that with you all next week. But it is now overdue. I have to hydrate, relax, and just decompress for the weekend because I'm feeling it mentally, psychologically, and emotionally. And it's natural to feel it. You know, it's not always highs. You got to be able to manage the lows, manage how you feel emotionally, psychologically, and just make sure you can compartmentalize it and then come back focused the next week. But really appreciate you all. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's anything else about recruiting, running a small business, tech, startups, do you want to know, please comment down below. We'll love to hear from you, and we'll do my best to answer and include those in future videos. But thanks again. Hope you all had an amazing, amazing week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next one.